Welcome back to Cynthia Untamed. This is your youthful and educational platform where we have conversations with and about children and young people in Africa. If you are new here, welcome to this platform where we have inspiring conversations. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for returning and you are most appreciated on this platform. Remember to tell a friend to tell a friend. I don't know whether you enjoy outdoor activities, but I certainly do. And I went hiking at Mount Longonot, and here are some snapshots. Hiking gave me the opportunity to reflect on a couple of things, and I just wanted to share with you, and I hope you will enjoy. My first lesson, I learned that you should prepare yourself mentally and physically for what you want to achieve. A lot of times we get into things without really preparing, and we totally underestimate what it takes to actually achieve something. So for example, if you're going hiking, you really need to prepare yourself physically. You need to eat enough. You need to maybe jog around for the week before you go hiking. You need to practice your breathing technique, because it's not really as easy as it seems, especially if you're not physically fit. It's not easy to climb up a mountain over 2,000 meters high. It's not as easy as it looks. You know, when you're traveling from Nairobi to Naivasha or Naivasha to Nairobi, you'll see the hills and you'll think that they're just close to you. But when you get there, you realize, wow, it's actually really far. And especially with the heat, it's very important for you to hydrate the day before. Mentally is also important, and you'll see this along the way, because when you get there, you'll see many reasons that will discourage you. I remember when I got to Mount Longonot, it was so hot, and I started wondering, am I really going to go up that hill? Did I really come all the way from Nairobi just to go up that mountain? And because I had told myself I wanted to do this, I needed to do this, I was ready to do anything I could. And one of the other things I actually did was buy hiking shoes, because there was this time I went hiking at Namanga Hill, close to the Tanzania and Kenyan border, and I didn't have the right gear, so I had the wrong shoes. I was wearing a very short sleeved top. And I remember it was so difficult, and my hairstyle was really big. So you can imagine when you were hiking through the bushes, my hair would get tagged along with the bushes. I remember the shoes I was wearing, the sneakers I was wearing got spoiled. They got spoiled because of going up and down the Namanga Hill. And all these things also contribute to your mental preparation. When you know you have the right gear physically, you'll be mentally prepared to go, because even as you collect all these items, then you're also preparing yourself mentally. And that applies to everything in life. Before you do anything, before you take an exam, before you go for an interview, always prepare yourself mentally and physically. Second lesson I learned: keep going, don't give up. When we got to the crater, we still had a task ahead. We still had to go around the crater. For those who've been at Mount Longonot, you will find that you first go up the mountain, you get to the mouth of the crater, then you have to walk 7 kilometers around the crater. And walking 7 kilometers around the crater is not just walking in a circle, on a flat circle. You're actually climbing more and more hills, going down mini hills just to go around the 7 kilometers. And when we got there, I was just like, no, I'm not going around the crater. But I was there with a friend, and she told me, Cynthia, we have come all this way. We need to finish it, because there's no other day we're going to say that we're returning to Mount Longonot to go around the crater. Next time, we're going to go around, we're going to climb Mount Kenya. We're not coming back to Mount Longonot. So we better do this today and finish it and know that we came, we saw, and we conquered. And so that really motivated me, and we just kept going, and we kept going until we finish. So that applies to everything in life. There are times that you start working on a project, you start applying for something, you try to do something, and it's just not working, it's not making sense. But even in the midst of the hopelessness, keep going, don't give up. If you need to find a new strategy, do. If you need to consult, do. Just keep going and don't give up. As I was climbing Mount Longonot, I also learned that it's important not to allow other people to stop you from reaching your goal. When we were going up this mountain and we go to the mouth of the crater, there are people who are so tired, because we went as a large group. And there was a group that was extremely tired. So you know what they said? They said, we are tired, let's descend. And then there was another group that said, no, we want to finish, because we came all the way from Nairobi to climb this mountain and to go around the crater. And I remember the group that was tired said, no, we are tired, let's go back. But some of us, me included, got so angry, we had to stand our ground. And we said, no, we are finishing this. We are finishing this because we came and we wanted to finish it. And so in the end, there was a group that remained behind. I believe they stayed at the mouth of the crater for some time, took some snacks, and then they descended and waited for us for 5 hours to return, because it took 5 hours to go around the crater and descend the mountain. And the other group that remained decided to go. And we just kept going and kept going. And in the end, we finished, because we did not allow other people to stop us. And that applies to everything that you're doing in life. A lot of times when you're doing something, people will laugh at you. People will discourage you. People will say that does not make any sense. They will probably post things about you on social media and say, look at her, look at him. You've probably experienced this. But don't allow others to stop you from what you want to achieve. It is okay to rest and then continue. And this is something that I really had to learn in stride. When we went up the mountain, I was really eager to walk very fast, climb the hill very fast. But the friend I was walking with told me, I've been to so many of these hikes, other hikes, and one thing I learned is that everybody moves at their own pace. There are people who will climb that hill very fast, they'll even run and go down. You will try to catch up with them, but what's going to happen is that you're going to get tired. So don't be afraid to stop and rest. And that's something that I took along the way when we were going around the crater with her, because we'd walk for like 30 minutes, we'd get tired, and then we would just sit, drink water, eat fruits. I had carried grapes on the trip, so I would eat the grapes because grapes have a lot of water, and then I would drink water. And then we would rest for 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'd stand and we'd keep going. And we did that in intervals until we went around the crater for 7 kilometers. It was not easy. There were people who were ahead of us, people who were stronger, who just ran, climbed the hills, descended, and I think they went back to the bus about 2 hours before us. But it taught me in life, it's okay to rest and then to continue. Don't stop. I know I said keep going, but also take some time to rest, rejuvenate, and then keep going. Focus is so important. I remember when we were going up the mountain, I was so scared because I have this incredible fear of heights. I still fear boarding planes, but that's another story. And I remember I kept looking sideways and I kept looking backwards. And every time I would see the height I had moved, I would feel so terrified. And there are times that I'd even have to crawl. I was actually crawling just so that I don't fall over. And the friend I was going with told me, Cynthia, stop looking sideways. If you see a bird, don't look at it. Just look ahead. Look at where you're going and look at where you want to get to. Because the more you look ahead, the more your brain knows where it's going, and the more it will give the rest of your body strength to keep moving until we finish. And when I took that advice, I am telling you, the fear I had disappeared. It disappeared momentarily. It kept coming back a couple of times, but the focus really helped. And that's important even in the things that you do. Always stay focused. Don't listen to people. There are so many voices. People will tell you things. People will tell you it's been tried before, it didn't work. People will tell you don't belong, either because of your disability, maybe it's because of your race, maybe it's because of your ethnic community, maybe it's because of the kind of family you come from. They will tell you all sorts of things. But don't listen. Just keep going where you want to go and look ahead. Don't take yourself so seriously. Sit down and laugh about some things. Laugh about some of the mistakes you made. Laugh about the awkward moments. Just take time to laugh. It's never that serious, really. And that's advice to Cynthia and advice to whoever is watching this. When we were going up the mountain, I remember I felt so many times. There was a time I felt because I was tired. Then there was another time I fell because I just fell. I just tripped and I fell. And I learned in those moments to just laugh because I'd fall and I would stand and there was all this dust on my clothes. I was sweating and I would just laugh. And it made me feel like a child because, as a child, when you're playing in the soil, you don't really think about, people are going to think I'm dirty. People will think I'm clumsy. No, you don't think about all those things. And seeing myself vulnerable at that point, and many of the other people who were moving with were also falling over, laugh about it, made me realize it's never that serious. So sometimes just laugh at some things and then keep going. Keep going. Don't take life so seriously. I don't know whether this thing exists, but balancing, it's probably an art. But I remember before I went for this hike, it was on a Sunday, I was so worried that I would not be able to make it for the hike because I had schoolwork to do. And so what I decided to do was to utilize my time well, knowing that I would be away on a Sunday. And Sunday is when I usually do most of the schoolwork, especially when we were doing projects. I decided that during the week, I was not going to waste a single moment. And so I spent every spare time during the week doing the research that I needed to do for that assignment, also knowing that I was a group leader. And by Sunday, I was done. And I remember the deadline to submit the work was on a Monday, but I went for that trip on Sunday knowing that I had already done the work. All I needed to do was wake up the next day on Monday to submit it to the rest of my farm mates. And so that also teaches you about the art of balance in life. Just balance, try and find out of balancing, have fun, be serious sometimes. Don't stick to one thing so much that you do not enjoy life. try and find a hobby that you can work on. Those days we used to write our CVs and used to write our hobbies there. Find a hobby that is not necessarily about building Africa. Just find something that you totally enjoy and that's really about building you. When you do that on a Saturday and a Sunday, and then Monday you can wake up and continue building the continent. You remember the way I told you about staying focused? Something else that I learned was learning the voices you need to listen to. As we were ascending the mountain, there were people who kept saying, we're never going to make it, let's just go back. Actually, some people went back after going around the crater for nearly 3 kilometers. I know 3 kilometers is like half of the distance. And going back for 3 kilometers means that you could have spent the same energy going around the mountain. But because they got discouraged by other people, they decided to go back. And you see, that's very dangerous when you're working towards your dreams, because people will say a lot of things. But ask yourself, is the voice I am listening to going to take me to the direction that I want to head to? And once you establish the voice that you want to listen to, then listen to that voice and work towards finishing your goal. I also learned that you will start the journey with so many people, but people will fall along the way. Some people will get tired of supporting you. Some will get tired. They will get tired not of you, but of themselves. And you'll realize that you're no longer heading towards the same direction. When we started ascending the mountain, we were 2 buses, so there was nearly 100 of us. But just about 30-something people actually went up the mountain, went around the crater and came back whole. And I learned that it's okay for some people to stay behind along the way. People who are probably your friends, your mentors. Sometimes maybe even your family will have to stay behind as you're moving towards your goal. But don't stop going just because some people are no longer part of your journey. Just because some people stopped supporting you, or you stopped supporting them. Because remember, you could also be the one who stayed behind or left or whatever it is. It's okay. Just keep forging forward. Because when you believe in what you want to do, when you believe in your goals, then your destiny will never be tied to one person. It will never be tied to your mentor. It will never be tied to your friend. It will never be tied to your relatives. Your destiny will only be tied to what you believe. If you believe that one day you'll be an exemplary leader in Africa, then you'll get there because you believe in it. And it won't matter that so and so dropped out along the way. As long as you work hard, you stay focused, you stay humble, and you stay kind, you will get there. Eventually, you will. Lastly, don't underestimate the power of prayer. If you're a spiritual person, whatever religion you belong to, pray before you embark on a journey. Even the Bible says, write your vision upon the tablet and it will come to completion. Something like that. Run with it and it will come to completion. When we were going, I remember I prayed for a safe journey to Naivasha and for a safe journey up the mountain and for a safe descent. And I came back whole. I was not exhausted. I was not feeling like, oh my God, I am tired. But there was actually another group that we went with, that when we got to Naivasha, there was another group that was there just a few minutes before us. And in that team, there was a guy who went up the mountain, and when he was just about to get to the crater, he collapsed. And he had to be taken down. People had to carry him down the mountain, and he had to be rushed to hospital. So you see, having a healthy body and going up a mountain should not be taken for granted. It's God who gives you life and the strength to have such abilities. Not everybody has the strength or the determination to do it. So always pray for the work you want to do. Pray that God will bring it to completion, that He will open the doors that need to be opened. He will straighten the paths that need to be straightened so that you can achieve your goal. And when God is above your work, when God is at the center of your work, when God is around you, when God surrounds your work, then nobody can destroy it. Not the voices, not the people who left, not the people who discourage you, not even you yourself can bring yourself down. You do not have that kind of power. So pray for your work and you will succeed. And those are my reflections on climbing Mount Longonot. I'm curious to know if you've been to Mount Longonot. #Tembea Kenya, #Tembea Africa. How was your experience? Did you go around the crater? Did you get tired? Did you take any lessons home with you? Please do let me know and comment in the comment section below. And my call to action to you today is to Tembea Kenya. If you've never been to Mount Longonot, challenge yourself to go there and just challenge your body. Go with your friends. Don't go alone. Go with your friends, your family, because when you go alone, you'll also get very tired. But if you're with people, you'll motivate each other to go. So today, make sure that you will Tembea Kenya. And that is it for CynthiaUNTAMED today. Let's keep the conversation going on social media. On Instagram, at CynthiaOprah_Nyongesa. On Twitter, at Cynthia_Oprah. And on LinkedIn, Cynthia Nyongesa. And I will see you in the next episode.